Hello, my name is Scott Storms, and I'm a candidate for state representative for the 60th District, comprising all of Windsor Locks and a part of Windsor. In Windsor, you are in the 60th District if you vote at the Oliver Ellsworth School or the Pequannock School. I've lived in this district for most of my life, and it's where my wife Dale and I've raised our two sons, and where I've practiced law for more than 35 years. I've served on the Windsor Locks Board of Education for 14 years and have been an active community volunteer for over 40 years. I love living and working in this part of Connecticut. As I walk the 60th District asking for people's support, one thing is clear. Everyone knows that Connecticut is in trouble, and people and jobs are leaving the state because our tax structure is repressive and our state budget is out of control. Annual deficits and fiscal uncertainty are devastating to job creation, businesses, the elderly, and those most in need. When the income tax was implemented in 1991, the state budget was $7.6 billion. As enacted, the tax was meant to be temporary and was supposed to solve all of Connecticut's budget woes. This year, our state budget is $19.8 billion. In the last 5 years, under the current administration and its tax and spend policy, we've seen an enormous 21% increase in spending and mounting unfunded debt. 3 months after the most recent budget was passed, it was announced that it was already in deficit. Legislators had to meet again to create a new plan to balance the budget, which is currently expected to end up in another deficit. The final budget includes cuts to education, state hospitals, mental health and substance abuse programs, and elderly programs, as well as a reduction of municipal funding affecting local property taxes of all taxpayers. During the next biennial session, without significant intervention, the projected deficit is expected to reach another $3 billion. We cannot continue on this course. It's time for a change. As your state representative, I will work to implement a competitive tax structure providing tax relief to businesses, elderly and families, a predictable budget that prioritizes spending with a clearly defined spending cap focusing on public health, safety, and education, elimination of borrowing to cover current operating expenses, legislative approval of all government union contracts, and a reduction of unfunded mandates impacting municipalities and businesses. As to local concerns, we are currently facing an issue that will impact both communities within the 60th District, the casino at Bradley International Airport. I'm generally opposed to the expansion of gambling in Connecticut. Casinos have many negative impacts on our communities, and I believe that we should be more interested in developing a world-class airport than a world-class casino within our district. In this regard, I'm truly concerned with the secret negotiations between the casino owners and the Bradley Airport Authority, leaving all of us in the dark. I strongly believe that discussions by public agencies on important matters affecting our communities should be open and completely transparent. Otherwise, we risk having a Niagara-type process which excludes or minimizes public input in future development within our towns. As a member of the state legislature, I will insist that any community impacted by a casino-type project receive fair compensation for the burdens it sustains. And no casino should be located in any community unless the residents have an opportunity by referendum after public hearing to approve or reject any casino proposal. Recently, members of the Windsor community have expressed grave concerns over their school district's release of parent email information to outside parties for political purposes. This has raised the real possibility that vendors, salespeople, and others unrelated to the school can obtain this personal information from schools and school districts without parental consent. As a longtime school board member, I believe that the safety of students and parents is of paramount importance. And therefore, one of my first actions as state representative will be to support a change in the state's privacy and freedom of information laws to ensure that all student information, including parental information, becomes strictly confidential and private. For over 40 years, the legislature has been controlled by Democrats, who have historically cut more money for services and increased taxes at the same time. Transparency and accountability have taken a backseat to secret meetings and sidestepping the legislative process. Ethical misconduct by government officials has become the norm rather than the exception. This needs to change. That's why I'm asking you to vote for me this election. If we can change the majority in the State House, we will consider and vote on real positive change, cuts to excessive bonding, a real spending cap, and tax reform with bipartisan, transparent deliberation of the issues instead of closed-door, smoke and mirror proposals that fall apart shortly after passage. Your vote on November 8th can and will make a difference. Please do not hesitate to reach out to me anytime to share your concerns. I encourage you to visit our website or find me on Facebook by searching Elect Scott Storms. I would be more than happy to discuss how we can together work to make a better Connecticut. Thank you for your time and consideration. I hope to see you on November 8th. This message was approved by me and paid for by the Elect Storms 2016 Campaign Committee, Bill Jenkins, Treasurer.